Welcome to another High Five. It's Monday morning. It is the first Monday of March. March Madness, the March promotion, it's all going on. And to talk about how things are going, how things are working in the March Madness and the March promotion, I'm going to bring the men who are actually bringing the promotion to you, who are making sure you're making the most dollars in March that are possible. Mr. Danny Shard and Mr. Brian Linke. How are you, Brian? Have you figured out how to post a picture on Facebook yet? We know
No,
it's
I
a
have
little
not,
hard
Nate.
for you.
Thanks for asking.
So, Danny, I like that. I didn't see it during the weekend because I didn't jump on Facebook much this weekend, but you posted something encouraging people to post their firstborn, who made their father. How cool is that? I mean, we were just talking all about our kids. Brian's got grandkids. You have a new pigtailed daughter as of this morning. Hair is growing out. There's nothing like, we talk about all these things, but there's nothing like being a parent.
There's not. Jason Lee's coming to talk to me. No, it was cool. I don't jump on Facebook too much, but when it comes to stuff like that. But my brother posted it about my nephew, and I had just taken a pretty cool picture of Bodie, and I'm probably going to create the second child post because I've got a really cute picture of Lucy with her first ponytail. Channeling her inner Zoe, which is Brian and Brenda's granddaughter, who's got a pretty cool ponytail too. So it's fun, and I think as my kids get older, I'm going to be posting a lot more of that stuff because I just like doing it. It's cool.
I love it. Brian, I mean, you are the seasoned father at this point, now a grandfather. When I do jump on, I see occasionally jump and find some of those pictures that you and Brenda are posting of Zoe. There's nothing like being a granddad, I'm guessing.
No, it's. I mean, if you want to feel old, yeah. But no, you're right. It's. I mean, I'm still struggling with the fact that my child actually, his wife gave birth to another human being. Because I never in a million years would have thought that Zach could have done that. Because I just, yeah, I mean, it's mind boggling, but no, it's surreal, and it's, I wouldn't change a thing. She's so cute, and she's changing rapidly. I mean, literally every single day she's walking now, and it's a fun time.
That's awesome. All right, today, guys, we're going to be talking. I don't need a timer up there. B2b sales tips. And I just put 3 of them together, and I want to kind of hear you guys respond to them and see what you guys think about our B2b sales tips. So the first one is this: embrace the empowered buyer. As I was thinking through this, I was reading a bunch of stuff this weekend just because I'd like to jump in, see what people are posting about sales, about merchant service sales, about sales in general. And this time I just typed into Google B2B sales and read about 20 or 30 articles and kind of think. And one of the themes I saw throughout was that you have to realize that the business person that you're going into is the most empowered they've ever been. They can look up nearly anything and confirm anything you're saying. It's part of the reason a lot of times, like when we talk about edge and cash discount, we say, we've made a fact snippet for a lot of people that have wanted. If you want to email me, we'll get it to you, a little PDF of the Wall Street article that ran a couple months ago back in August, because they can go find things and you need third party. But Brian, how much, I mean, when you started selling in a few years ago, people kind of had to either chose to trust you or not trust you. There's nothing they could really do without, going to a library to go find out whether what you were saying is true or not. That's not how it works now, is it?
Okay, it's no, Nate. It's not 1986 anymore. Which, by the way, I loved 1986. But yeah, you're right. I mean, everybody. No, I mean that's why it's harder today. I honestly believe it. But excuse me, sales. In the mid 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. It was just a different thing. You're right, though. You had to earn people's trust. They had to, you really couldn't show them, hey, can you jump on to payanywhere.com? Can you jump onto mypayprotect.com? You couldn't do that. You had to sell yourself first. That's why I think, people in their mid 50s to mid 60s are I think they're better salespeople, if you don't want to know the truth. However, what What they're not is the technology. They're not nearly as well versed on the technology, which the younger people are today. The baby boomers and the people like yourself and Mr. Shard there. Where obviously, things are much easier today to get your hands on. It's just that, sometimes, the whole skill of selling and selling yourself goes away.
I mean, one of the things about being the empowered buyer is and that's why I phrased it, you have to embrace the empowered buyer. Is just have to accept that the person you're walking in may already know what you're going to say, or as soon as you walk out, they're going to pull out their phone and Google if they've been enticed enough. Danny, what do you think that means for our partners as they're walking in? I've seen a lot of different ways people have done it. I've seen people just walking in and here's how all my competitors, they have a list of but how do you see people embracing the empowered buyer and being able to, just admit, hey, you can confirm this on your own?
I think it's probably one of the best things for us as salespeople to have more informed customers, right? And the reason I say that is because this industry, and just like in any industry, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, right? There's a lot of individuals that try to take advantage of their customers, right? Try not to tell the whole story, try to really oversell or overprice certain products, inflate fees and set up like those balloon fees type of program where they kick in after the 3 months or 6 months or something like that. There's a lot of those situations that have happened in our industry and continue to happen today. And a lot of that is because, salespeople are not honest. There's some salespeople are not honest, and merchants are uninformed. So as merchants get more and more informed, I think that helps us that are transparent, doing business the right way, selling the right way, because all that's doing is validating what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're trying to set their business up, right? You're a transparent salesperson. You're going to tell them everything that they need to know, and they can even go on and validate who you are, what you're saying. I think all that does is make it better and a much easier sell for you, and a better way for you to get referrals, right? Because they're going to be able to prove your honesty really quick, and they're going to be able to identify the shady ones really quick as well if they're doing their homework.
Brian, one last thing on this topic is talking on the reverse side. The salesperson that walks in and doesn't present things honestly, tries to hide certain things, hide fees. How does that hurt them when they, the first thing they say, the person looks up and then let's just say they walk in and they bash a competitor and they say, no one likes this competitor. And the person searches that competitor's names and finds 30 positive reviews and some negative reviews too. What does that do when they come in and the first or second thing they say, they actually find out to be false? Can they win that back?
No, that's a lie, Nate.
Yeah.
You're lying to the merchant, and I think the worst thing you can do in sales is tell a lie, especially today. Right? I mean, there are things back again in the mid to late '80s that you could get away with, but if you're going to go in and lie to your merchant, yeah, I mean you're getting caught. You can't get away with, today you can't get away with anything. And so to go in and tell somebody something that's not the truth, because a lie is something that's not the truth, right? There's no such thing as like a half a lie. It's a lie. A lie is a lie is a lie. So when you're telling people something that's not true, it's a lie. And when you're lying to people, you may not get caught right then and there. You may even get the deal, but eventually, okay, you're getting caught in that lie, and you're losing your credibility, and you're losing the sale, and you may even lose future sales from what your merchant. You don't know. I mean, you don't know what people are doing. They go and tell everybody in Warsaw, Indiana, or Glenwood Springs, Colorado, or the booming metropolis of Indianapolis, Indiana, and it ruins your entire reputation. And it's awfully tough to sell that way.
It is. And I see a lot of not our people, but people in our industry still trying to sell the way they did 10, 15, even 20 years ago, and try to not explain, or when they ask questions, maybe it's not outright lying, but they say ignore a few things, and that's going to set you up for failure long term. The powers of the businesses are becoming more and more, and your reputation is ultimately a huge piece of why people will do business with you tomorrow. And if you ruin that today, it's all messed up. But let's go into another thing. And the other thing I thought is, this is a theme that I thought is that people are more, that it's not just being a salesperson, it's not just doing marketing, that you're more and more becoming a brand ambassador. And I thought that when I was reading these, people were saying, look, you are walking in and representing the brand of whoever you're representing, whatever you're building, and you're speaking on behalf of them. And I was remembering back, there's a person out there, if you look him up, his name's Guy Kawasaki. He used to work for Apple, and his title at Apple was the evangelist. And it was back in the early days when they were trying to get people to use the iPods and jump on into some of the things that were new technology. And he was the evangelist. He's gone on to work for a Canva and some other companies where he just goes out. He didn't build it. He didn't create it. He's not the owner. He's simply an evangelist and getting excited about who you're represented. And I think there's a difference between just going in and selling someone and coming in and walking in and being excited and being the ambassador or being the evangelist about something. And I think that's what's made a big difference for a lot of our people when it comes to selling, edge pricing, or cash discount, or whatever term you want to put onto it. When they've walked in, they can be excited about it because it's something that they're stepping up and being an ambassador for. So Danny, I'm going to come to you first here on this. What do you think? Like, I think a lot of times when this industry, people have walked in and said, hey, I can help you accept credit cards. But everybody accepts credit cards now. We're down to less than 0.1% of businesses that don't accept credit cards in the US. You have to walk in presenting something else. What do you think about the idea of becoming a brand ambassador, that you're representing some type of brand? And that brand, it's not always a name, but you're representing that. You have to be excited. The idea of being an ambassador, that I'm going to present and get excited about what I'm presenting to you.
Yeah, I mean, how in years past, I can't think of a time that there was an opportunity to do that, right? With new programs, new technology, new initiatives, everything that is coming out right now, giving the opportunity for our partners and even our merchants to be those ambassadors that you're talking about is incredibly unique. And it's something that a lot of them will be passionate about, both you as a salesperson and merchants, as you're kind of getting them excited about new programs and about kind of this new wave of accepting payments and that entire experience that it's becoming, as opposed to what it was 5, 10, 15 years ago, right? It's a night and day. And I think, a lot that we can do, a lot of salespeople, in creating those ambassadors and business owners, right? We want that. And those are going to be our referral channels. Those are going to be the pipelines that we want to kind of continue to develop and create those ambassadors that are on the front lines of it for us, and really just a reference for you to bounce off of. It's massive. I can't remember. I've been in the industry since 2003, and I can't remember a time that opportunity was available to us, because you're right, Nate, everybody has always had the ability to take payments. And before, it was the same old conversation happening over and over and over again. And now that conversation's changed significantly. And this is an opportunity for both us and merchants to become these ambassadors. I love that concept. And I think it's something you can take to your sales approach.
Perfect. All right. And Brian, I'm going to swing over to you just for a second here. What do you think for you? You have our much bigger history of this. But I see you're PayProtect's brand ambassador. You represent, when you walk in, you are, and when you're talking on the phone, the excitement and how much you believe in what PayProtect's doing. And let's just say you're the poster child for selling and cash discount and edge pricing and getting all the bonuses that PayProtect offers. You're walking in. It's so much easier when you're coming in as an ambassador and you're excited about what you're selling and you're offering, than when you're just coming in and trying to replace something or just hoping that they may take your product, right?
Well, again, remember this. You're still dealing with people, right? I mean, today, obviously the technology is, far and away, something that in my lifetime, I never thought you would ever see. As a matter of fact, I had this conversation the other day with a guy saying that, from where I, started, as a kid to today, I just have a hard time believing that, there's going to be a bigger change in someone's lifetime than people that are right around my age. I mean, again, I'm obviously a little bit biased with that, but, It's coming from where there's no internet and no cell phone and no 3 channels to watch, and kids today, they just have no idea. I used to beg my parents to sit up and let me watch the first 3 innings of Monday Night Baseball. Okay, beg them to do that. So yeah, no, but I still think some things just ring true forever. Your body language, how you look when you walk into a business. Just had a partner that we just brought on board that he asked me, what do you guys wear? And I don't really know what they wear. I told him, I said, I know what I'd wear, and I told him, I said, I'd probably put a sport coat and a polo shirt on, something like that. But, he was, wanting to wear the shirt with the logo on it, with the badge and the whole thing. So everyone is different. And it's the same thing as we talked about this before, shooting a free throw, right? Everybody's got a different style. As long as the ball goes in, what difference? I don't care how you shoot it underhand, like Rick Barry used to do. And most of you don't even know who Rick Barry was, but I think he shot what Nate, like 93% from the free throw line, something like that. See, I'm making that up, but it's close. He's one of the best free throw shooters of all time.
No, Rick Barry was not Granny. No,
he did Granny shot right underneath.
Was it Granny?
Shot. Yeah, Granny shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I still think there are certain things that will never change. Okay. And your personality and how you walk into a room and how you look people in the eye and how you shake hands with people. You're right. I mean, and again, it's a compliment to me, and I hear it a lot, and it makes me feel really good that it never changes. And that, Brian Linke walks into a room, he's there, right? He's present, and he carries a presence with him no matter where I go. I used to joke with people, if I was taller, okay, I would have never lost a deal just because, I'm just a little guy in the room. But if I was, Danny Shard's size, Nate Manahan's size, and then be a little bit of a different thing. But, I'll take what I got.
I don't even know where to go from there. All right,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And like, one of the consistencies, right? Like you're saying, Brian, is you still got to get up. You got to be presentable. Whatever your approach is, like the partner that we just brought on that you're talking about. I mean, he likes wearing a name tag. He likes representing the brand that he's going to be in there talking to a merchant about. You're not going to find a lot of salespeople out there that are still taking that approach, but that's what makes him feel comfortable. That's what keeps his confidence high, and he closes a ton of business. So it works for him, right? And the consistency, I think, across everybody is you get up, you take a shower, you look presentable, and you go with what you feel is right. But don't forget rule number 4. That's the most important. Take a shower.
Rule number 4, take a shower.
Right. But
making
an enjoyable shower.
But everything rings true, though, right? I mean, like, and you may not, be on your game 100% every single time. That's what makes Lou Gehrig's record and Cal Ripken's record like so unbelievable. Those guys got out of bed, for 162 games. I think Gehrig actually played 154 back then, but and came to the park and got ready and played each and every night. It'll never happen again, ever. Well,
Mike Krzyzewski's record.
Yep.
Okay?
What's that?
Mike Krzyzewski's record.
Never happen again. We talked about it.
Happen again.
Never happen again. Yep. Right. Yep. It goes on and on. Jim Boeheim, Bobby Bowden, Joe Paterno, all those guys. Okay. Like, and again, the biggest reason why is because, these guys are getting paid too much money now. I mean, so like, why am I playing 162 games? Why am I coaching 42 years when I can, go on and do something else? I think Krzyzewski and Boeheim and Bowden and those guys, they just, this is what they're, Bear Bryant, Joe Paterno, this is what they knew. But these guys today, you're not going to find it anymore. But, and that's why, again, you may not be 100% every single day, but that's why, we've talked about this before on Sundays. That should be the day that you start kind of preparing yourself for the week and kind of have a plan. Maybe you lay out your clothes. I mean, I don't know, whatever it is, right? If you're anal like me, like you lay out your clothes. Okay, here's what I'm going to wear. Right? When you're going into a merchant, I'm going to wear this on Monday, this on Tuesday, and have a plan of attack. And that will never change.
Right.
All right. Well, my third tip kind of talks about some of it is that you've got to develop a process. There is a process to how you do sales, and the process is different for the type of merchants and who you want to go after. You can talk about people like those who the one close or call. Well, if you're going after B2B merchants that are doing, millions and millions a month of credit card volume, I can't imagine that there's one that's going to close on a one close call. One, because they have that you can't get everybody on the call that needs to say yes to make that change in decision. But if you're going after, different merchants and individual small sales, it changes, but each one is a different process. Not only do you have to have a process like Brian was saying in making sure your system works, you have to understand and trust the process. Let's go in, Joel Embiid, trust the process to who you're going after and find it. And there are different processes. But Brian, how many different processes have you gone through in different ways because you've sold so many different things, different products, different way. You've used a lot of different processes to make it work, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, I have, but I've always just, remained constant and remained steady. And, when I walked in somebody's door, my eyes were glued to theirs. My handshake was firm. You look on the wall and you start talking about things that, that are, obviously that they're interested in, and you get into a conversation. Another thing, I just told my son this. I said, you say yes to everything, right? Can I get you some coffee? Answer's always yes. I don't care if you hate coffee. The answer is always yes. Take it into the bathroom and pour it in the sink. Right? Can I get you some water? Hey, did you eat? Yeah, you want to go to lunch? The answer is always yes, because that breaks down that barrier. Once you're in there and you're sitting down with somebody and he has your attention, that's all I know, right? That's all I know. And Danny actually has a list of things that require no talent, and he sent it to me because, for obvious reasons, he was trying to tell me something. But it remains those are the things that remains constant, right? Is to get up and get out, take a shower, and get in front of people. Be on your game, and you know what, you'll know if you're not when you walk out the door. And just don't let it happen again.
Danny, I mean, do you see, like we often say, we hear the phrase I mentioned earlier, trust the process. But how often do people, partners that are getting in sales, they get into the wrong process for the type of sales that they're getting into, and they need to change something up? Do you see that as something that's happening, in a regular? I'm not going to say it's all the time, but that's regularly happening to some of our partners, and they just need to have a change of mindset, and it'll make them more successful and change the process up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it's all going to come with the different types of businesses that you're going after, right? Every situation is different. If you're fairly new to the business and you're trying to take the same approach with that $1 million a month B2B merchant that you did with that $5,000 nail salon, then you're probably not going to get the deal, because it's a completely different approach, right? Like Brian said, that's going to be more of a take your time, go out to lunch, multiple conversations to get a deal like that. The one call close, the one stop close, they're definitely not over. They happen daily. I think they only happen with smaller merchants and things like cash discount to eliminate processing fees, right? Yeah. And give them a free terminal, and it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, right? And the majority of bigger, more robust systems or more intricate deals are going to take more massaging, period. They got to feel more comfortable with you to take over their business, as opposed to that micro merchant, anywhere doing between 5 and 15,000 a month, that you can really explain the process extremely quickly. And there's little to no impact to their business as far as the transition, right? And what that looks like. So the entire approach, I think, needs to be adjusted depending on the type of business that you're going after. And I think one thing as salespeople that we can all look at is trying to do that keep that consistency, but also know which approach that you have to have depending on the type of merchant that you're going after. With salespeople, desperation kicks in, right? Especially if we're kind of just getting started. You haven't closed a deal in a while, maybe you get an opportunity, you need to close it, and there's a tendency to want to cut corners, to want to really kind of get through it so you can get to the close, right? And that's just something that we need as human beings. We need to get to that point. We need to get to the finish line if we feel like we're in a rut, or if we just need to do it financially or something else. So try to control that if we can, right? I think that's a big thing that we can all do is stay focused on the task at hand and not rush the process depending on the type of opportunity it is.
How about the one call, cold call, walking out with the deal?
Love
You
it.
know who the king of that was? You're looking at him. Okay, not the appointment, not the appointment. Okay, walking in, they don't know you're coming, and you walk out with the deal. It's an art form. It's an
It
art form.
is. And you
Well,
didn't
let
rush
me
the
just throw
process
something else
though,
in
right?
there.
Yeah.
Right, it is. Okay, but let me just throw something else in there, and then we can be done here. When I first started working in New York City in 1986, okay, I remember the guy who took me out. We went up to the Upper East Side, Trump Tower, all these big fancy buildings, all these big fancy office buildings, that had 12 secretaries, and you had to walk in there and you had to get the business card and set up an appointment and do a proposal. And I knew right then, I mean, it took me like literally less than a week to realize, like, okay, this is not my game. Okay, these are not my people. Now, again, it was a long distance industry, and those people, like, they were big type customers. Okay, but I knew right away that, like, this is not my thing. This does not fit my personality. I need to go down, where it gets real. Okay, in Midtown Manhattan, right? 14th, if people are familiar, 14th to 49th Street, right? Down there in Hell's Kitchen, they call it. And those were the people that fit me the best. The guy who takes the egg timer and turns the egg timer over and says, go. Okay. That's what I needed. And it didn't take me very long to realize that. So I guess my point here is, know what fits, what fits your strength. Okay. And not every business fits your strength. Know what fits your strength, plan it out, and then go after those types of businesses.
Like it. All right, gentlemen. Let's close up with a couple things talking about a little payments news. Danny sent me over an email earlier talking about our call centers getting a little bit of increased calls about declined cards and a few declined cards. And it's because here we go. Is that working? You guys seeing my screen?
I can't see your screen now.
Okay. Don't know. I'm trying. It's not working. Can't figure it out. Can't seem to get it to go. But I was going to show MasterCard and Visa suspend operations in Russia. I was going to have the New York Times article up on there. But that's happening. And when things are changing in the world, they have cascading effects that happen. Are you in Warsaw, Indiana, probably going to see any declined cards because of what's happening in Russia? Brian Linke, probably not. But any metropolitan area, you're going to see an increased, because it's not just cards of those, it's anything that touches some of those Russian bank systems and issuing. Danny, these are just something for us to be aware of when it comes in the industry and stay on top of it.
I didn't know that, Nate.
Well,
yeah. It's all, I mean, this is kind of a unique situation. I don't think any of us have ever seen or experienced in quite some time, but it's something that's starting to impact our industry, right? And certain merchants, depending on where they're located and the types of customers that they have and the types of cards that they're using, we're going to start seeing declines completely out of our control. Card brands are starting to shut down anything related to Russia and the bins that that the cards that they issue are routed from. So we're going to start to see some of this as this continues to unravel, and hopefully it goes over pretty quick. But I think this is honestly just the beginning. So we'll see where this goes. But as we get more information, we'll share it with all of you. But if you start to hear about declines from merchants more than you had in the past, most likely it's due to this.
All right. Well, let's talk about something more exciting. Brian Linke, it's March Madness. Let's have you remind people what, if they're with us right now and they're setting up new merchants with PayProtect during March, what do they get? What are some added bonuses they can receive?
First five deals. If first 5 deals, you're getting an additional $300 for each one of those deals, and then after 5, from 6 on, we're paying you an extra $500 on top of your activation on top of your true up and on top of your residuals. So, I mean, this is an opportunity to make some extra money. It's going from March 1st to March 31st, not till April 1st, not till April 2nd. Trust me, Danny Shard and Billy West are all over that. But for the month of March, and they have to activate by April, what, Dan, 12th?
20th.
20th.
So you're getting all the way
20th.
to the 20th of the month to activate the deals.
Activate by April 20th. But again, it's a way that we're just it's another way to earn extra money by just going out and doing your job.
And not only that, so these are all merchants that are coming in with a 3.5% to the customer or higher pricing and the resulting merchant rate. So those are some of those little caveats. But if you bring merchants that do more than $50,000 of volume, that they have a proven statement that that's what they're doing of volume, Danny, what do they get?
You're going to get another $1,000. So we're doing some volume bonuses, and we're probably going to look at some additional volume bonuses later this week and going into next week. So this is just the time of the year and the month of March where we just kind of get crazy and start blowing some promotions out that we've never done in the past. So I'm excited about it. And Nate, you threw another promotion out on Friday.
Hey, look at you. That was what's coming up. You got things like I got PayProtect hoodies. If I can show up the section that has PayProtect hoodies that are going out gradually. We're doing merch. So if you submit a deal last Friday, I already pulled the spreadsheet of everyone who submitted a deal last Friday. If you submit a deal today or over the weekend, some people, I love it when I see a few more deals coming in over the weekend. You submit a deal today or tomorrow, I'm going to take everybody gets some merch. I can't promise what it's going to be. We've got sweatshirts and polos and we've got golf gear and all kinds of stuff that's able to go out. And the top 5 that are part of that, we're giving the best merch packages. We can give a little bit of everything all the way out. It's just it's good to be part of March. Brian Linke, what do you say to our partners as we close out here for the first Monday of March? March Madness is 6 days in. It's a week tomorrow. What do you say, brother?
I say, if you're not submitting deals with PayProtect, if you're with another provider, you must be crazy. I mean, because the bonuses that we're paying, and I talk to partners every single day. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't get any better than it does right here.
And Mr. Danny Shard.
Keep it up. You guys kind of blew my mind whenever you said this is the first Monday of March, because we've been talking about this for quite some time. And yeah, last Monday was February 28th. So first Monday of March, still a long way to go throughout the month and a ton of time to take advantage of it. So have an awesome week and get out there and get that business done. Let us know what you need.
All right, we love it. Thank you guys, everybody. Thanks everybody for watching, for listening. Leave us a review, subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. Watch us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, get that bell. Say every time we put an alert because we go live. We've got the new show launching every Thursday at noon, Office Hours with Mike and Jenny, where they answer your questions, the most practical things to learn of how you work through the systems of PayProtect. Even if you're new to PayProtect or you're old to PayProtect, it's a great way to come in and get some of your questions answered. And we talk about a different topic each week. You can watch that. If you're watching this through the email, I also put that link to that new show right there. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. And on that, I bring the guys up and we say high five. We'll see you next week.
High five, everybody. Go get them.